everyone, Chad Trades here. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you an easy to learn scalping trading strategy. Now, the reason I think this is a good trading strategy to start with as a beginner is because it gets you actually familiar with taking positions, entering in positions, exiting positions, knowing how you feel while you're in a trade. Because as you know, scalping, you're usually in the trade for, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, right? Sometimes even 2 minutes, right? Depending on just the price action. So with that being said, I'm gonna be showing you a real example of a scalp I took today, how much I made from it, and how you can consistently make profit from this trading strategy. So that being said, let's go ahead and go into the charts and get straight into this video. All right, so when it comes to scalping, I mainly trade the ES, which is the SPY, right? This is the overall S&P 500, the market. And as you can see, we're on the 30-minute time frame. This is over the past few weeks or so. And when I'm scalping, I'm not paying as much of attention to these big, this big time frame, right? This is more when I'm actually trading. When I'm scalping, I'm gonna zoom in on the time frames. I'm gonna, use the 1 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, or the 15-minute chart. Now, when it comes to actually scalping, you can do this with options, futures, or just trading equity. Me personally, today, I scalped with futures. Most of the times I use options for scalping. Kind of just depends what you wanna do. It doesn't really matter too much. The point is to understand the strategy and to actually have good execution on it, right? So let me go into my futures broker just to show you some proof here. I'm gonna go into my account. As we can see, we're on today. This is February 28th. If I press go right here, as you can see, my gross P&L was 587. And yeah, the trade was around 17 minutes just because I was holding a runner with a stop loss, right? So anyways, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go into the charts and kind of show you how this trading strategy worked, right? So like I said, we're on the 30-minute time frame. We can see the whole entire market is downtrending over the past 2 weeks. Now, when I'm scalping, I'm not paying attention to that as much because I'm getting in and out quick, right? If I was doing a day trade where I'm holding for, a few hours or a few days, maybe more of a swing trade, right? Yes, I would look at the overall time frame, and I trade like that too. But when it comes to scalping, I want to look at least the 5-minute time frame, and I want to see what happened during the pre-market. So when it comes to scalping, I usually trade right when the market opens at 9:30 Eastern time. That's when you're going to have the most volatility. You can make money the most quickly. So as we can see, if we go back yesterday, we were kind of uptrending, and then we sold off towards the end of the day. We sold off more overnight, and then around 1 in the morning or so, we started gapping up more, and then around 5:30 this morning, we started really selling off due to news that got released. And we actually opened, where did we open? We opened right here somewhere. So let me actually zoom into the chart. So we opened at 7:30. I live in Mountain Standard Time. So we actually opened on this candle right here. As we can see, we're basically hitting a support line, right? So I actually took my trade pretty early in the day. So if I zoom out here, this is kind of the level I was watching. So as you can see, due to previous history over the past day or so, every time we got to this 77 price level, we end up running up pretty big, right? So we got it here, we ran up pretty big. We got close here, we got to 78, we ran up again. We got it, just a few hours ago during the night, we got around 74-ish level, right? So again, it's never gonna be perfect, but we wanna see around this level, and we gapped up again. So basically what this trading strategy comes down to is just looking at the highs and lows of the pre-market and kind of just seeing where the price gravitated to and where it bounced off from. Or if you're trading puts or shorting the market, seeing where it sold off commonly in the past, right? Over the past day. We're not looking at the past 2 weeks. We're not looking at the past week. We're kind of just looking at the past day or so, and specifically the pre-market. That's gonna be the most important thing I look at when it comes to scalping. So anyways, now we can actually go into the 1-minute chart and show you where I entered, my thought process through that. So I already had my levels marked this morning, right? I wanted to be somewhere in this level. We're also in a demand zone on a bigger time frame. But as you can see, I was kind of watching this 77-ish area from what I showed you before. So once we opened up, I believe we opened up on this candle. This is where I was kind of just staying patient and seeing what price action gave us, right? So as we can see, we started to sell off right when the market opened. And again, I was just waiting for us to get to this level. And again, just because we got to that level, that 77-ish level, doesn't mean I'm gonna take the trade right there. That's gonna tell you where to enter. The second thing you really need to understand, and again, I like to keep trading, especially scalping, as simple as possible. Once it gets to that where level, that 77-ish, right? We knew where. The next thing is you want to look at when. So when do you actually enter the trade? Well, that's when you start looking at price action. You start getting some confirmations, right? So I'm sure you've heard that often. So for me, again, I like to keep it stupid simple. I look for levels, which was that 77-ish level. And then I look at price action, right? What are the candles telling me? What is the volume telling me? That's going to tell me when to actually enter, which I did this morning, right? So as we can see, once we got to this 77-ish level, it's not gonna be perfect, we immediately wicked up on this 1 minute candle. We sold off and we immediately wicked up, which basically means if there's a wick, on this, that basically tells me that buyers bought it up immediately, right? It didn't let the price action go, buyers bought it up. So it told me there was some demand there. And once we got a couple more candles that closed towards the top of the wick, that's where I wanted to start doing my entry. So actually on this pullback right here, on this 78, this 80-ish level, this is where I actually entered my position. The reason being is because, like I said, we got to this key level I was waiting for. We started to show that, the price was reversing. We started seeing some strength from the buyers, and this is where we were starting to gap up. So as you can see, the trend was already kind of down this morning. So I wasn't trying to play this to break out all the way past this 4,000 level. I was kind of just waiting for this 95-ish level and also this 90-ish level. So that's basically where I started to scale out of my trades. So I was trading 2 contracts for futures for this. So I sold my first one at around 85 or so. So it was up here on this wick. 85, I sold my first contract, and from there I just put a stop loss where I actually entered at this 80 level, and eventually we went up, right? I didn't sell right here, we pulled back, we went up, so we're kind of just bouncing around. And on this pop-up, once we started to gap down and we saw that we couldn't break out, this is where I actually exited the remaining contract around this 90 level. And that's really it, right? As you can see, I kept it very simple. And if we go on to, later this day, right, you could have played these levels all day long, right? So if we actually zoom out here, we can see, let me actually go to the 5-minute chart so it's not so choppy looking. So as we can see, we play this level, right? We basically bottomed out right here. This is the trade I took, as I just showed you, and we kind of topped out right here. So obviously we didn't know that the price was going to top out here, so this would have been hard to kind of predict. But as you can see, later on in the day, a few hours later, or even just an hour later, we got down to the same exact level that we got before. And what do we know from history? Usually around this 77-ish level, right, price bounces up, which it did. So you could have took another scalp here and, rode it back to this 90 level. And you could have done this all day long. Obviously, it didn't get there again. But we knew that last time price got here, it sold off. So we could have took a short right here. As you can see, you would have made a nice 10-point move. Now we're moving back up again, right? Chances are we can get in a short right now, and it has a high probability of selling back off to either this 84 level or even all the way back down to the 77-ish level. So that is my scalping trading strategy. It's very easy to learn. It's very simple. Like I said, look for those key levels during pre-market and the day before, and making sure you're actually patient enough to wait till, not just till it gets to those levels, but also it gives you some confirmations that it's going to start going down or going up at those key levels, right? So looking at the actual price action, looking at the candles, also looking at the volume. Is volume increasing once we start going up? That's the key things that you want to look at. So anyways, this is my scalping strategy. This is how I make an extra $500 to $1,000 per day. And then also I do trade on the longer time frames, but that's completely different, right? So you have to really separate those if you're day trading, if you're swing trading, or if you're actually scalping, knowing that you're only looking at those smaller time frames and really comparing price action to the past day or so during pre-market, stuff like that. That's what helped me the most, because I know it can kind of be contradicting where you're looking at, on a bigger time frame, the trend is up, on a smaller time frame, the trend is down, right? So just knowing the different factors of how long you're holding your trades is going to be really important for your success. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, all I ask you to drop a like on this video. Lets me know you want more like this. Also, real quick before you go, if you want to download a free copy of my day trading guide, this is going to show you exactly how I day trade, my exact system I use. This is kind of the cheat sheet I look at when I actually go to take a trade. Again, if you want to download a free copy of this guide, all you have to do is click on the first link in the description below, or just head over to this link right here and I'll send it over to you for free. So that being said, guys, as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Trade smart, trade safe, and I will see you in my next video.